recently you got some Microsoft points, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But they're not Microsoft points anymore.
They're dollars.
Microsoft dollars.
Can be used at any of your local Microsoft theme parks.
Yeah, it's always remind you how much money you're spending.
And then you get depressed at how much your wallet has lost. But anyway, you used some of that money to buy Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Right?
Yeah.
Now, that used to be on the Xbox Live Store. It was the original game. It was one of the Xbox originals that was being sold. But you didn't get that version.
No.
It looks strikingly different.
Well, striking. It's the new 10th anniversary HD remake, or whatever. HD UpRes iOS edition thing.
It just came out this month. But the one thing I noticed watching you play it was the menu system looks just like you would expect the iOS port to look like. I have not.
Oh yeah, no, it is. Yeah. It's exactly the same. Like
I haven't played the iOS port, so I don't know what the.
I have GTA 3 for the iOS, and yeah, it's pretty much the iOS menu system. But I'm totally fine with that. It's a good little menu system, and it doesn't really affect the game. Game looks good. It's a little buggy, but I think it's just because it's an old game.
I'm sure the bugs didn't come from any of the up-resing or any of the work they did on change the menu systems, change anything. I
don't know how buggy the original Xbox Live version was when they added up. So I know some of them are a little wonky. So
I guess the most important question is: do you think this game deserved that up-resing for like a 10th anniversary?
Yeah.
Or do you think it was fine the way it was?
It was probably. I don't know.
Like, were there games better suited to be up-res, to have that HD remake over this game?
There might be, but I mean, I think San Andreas definitely deserves it. So, like, San Andreas was arguably the biggest Grand Theft Auto. And I guess the only until 4. So
it was like a Grand Theft Auto 3.75, more or less, with Vice City being like 3.5.
You can make a fair argument that Vice City is 3.5. There's something about San Andreas that, like...
3.9999.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite 4.
Yeah. But no, San Andreas is great. It's like, I think it's back up to its full price now, but like the day they released it was only like $4 for the 10th anniversary. I don't know if it still is. It still is. Go get it. It's worth $4, even if you've already played it before. So.
If you don't have the Xbox original one, it's probably even more worth it. If you've never played it, probably even more so than...
If you've not played it, Jesus Christ.
It's available on Steam. You can probably find the original Xbox one. It's probably not entirely cheap. But it's probably not entirely expensive either. It's probably one of those games kind of in the middle of price points.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you gotta imagine Blink's the Time Sweeper, same era, same generation.
I think it's $10.
Blink's is gonna be cheap as shit.
It's about 10, I think. I think that all the original ones are like $10.
Well, I'm talking
which
about
gets a
physical.
little stupid. Physical?
Yeah, like you can find it out there.
Physical is like even cheaper. Like that's what annoys me.
I'm saying it's not going to be as cheap as something like Blink's the Time Sweeper, which was kind of niche.
Yeah.
It's on Steam. It's now 10th anniversary is on the Xbox Live Store, and it's on iOS and Android. Let me see if I can figure out anywhere else that I'm missing right now.
The PlayStation one is also
I did not know it was actually available on PlayStation 3. Apparently.
I don't. Did the Steam one get anything for the 10th anniversary?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, I own the original Steam one, and I wasn't notified upon opening Steam of any updates or anything, and I don't imagine they would make me repurchase it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. So.
But speaking of HD remakes and whatnot, I figured we'd take the time to talk about sequels, games that deserve sequels in this new generation, and games that deserve HD remakes. So I'm going to ask Kylie in here, what game do you think most deserves a sequel in this new generation of consoles?
Gex 2.
There was a Gex 3. You do know that, right?
No, Gex 2.
Gex 3 exists.
No, what's the one where you go to the different movies or whatever?
That is literally Gex in a nutshell.
Okay, what's the one where he's a spy?
Gex 3.
Then never mind. Make Gex 3 2.
The whole thing about Gex was like going into TV shows and movies, so you pretty much described the whole game franchise.
Sweet like candy. Gex is so weird. Not really, no. Gex is... No, don't bring Gex back.
No, that got
Gex was fun for the time, and then fuck Gex. I don't want to
bring back Crash after Traveler's Tales took it over. There hasn't been a good Crash game since Wrath of Cortex, and that's really sad.
Yeah, do you really want more Crash? It's like
I want more Naughty Dog era Crash.
Yeah,
like, I owned all 3, 4 if you include Wrath of Cortex, and I loved all of them. I even had Crash Bash, Crash Team Racing. It was fantastic. Crash Bash did annoy me though multiple times. But I also owned Crash Twinsanity, which was the worst piece of crap I've ever owned.
But it's like
one of them.
But it's like I want rare era Banjo-Kazooie back.
Yeah.
And then we got Nuts and Bolts, and we saw how good that was. So
like if it wasn't Banjo, it would have been good. Kind of.
It would have been okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I used words I shouldn't have.
It would be like a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7.
But with Banjo included in the equation,
makes it an abomination unto God.
What was you played the demo of that at least, and you found what was the demo area in relation to the whole game?
The demo area, like I figured, the level they let you play in the demo would be like the first level. No, I think it's like halfway through the game or some shit like that. So it's like surprisingly difficult. But going back to like sequels, like talking more about Rare, I want Conker. But of course he's going to be in Project Spark.
Wow. Almost 10 years without a new game. Guess we'll have to make our own.
There was also never actually a Conker sequel, was there? There was just Bad Fur Day and a remake of Bad Fur Day.
There was
never actually a sequel.
And then technically Bad Fur Day is very technically a sequel. Because there was Conker's Pocket Tales that came out.
Wasn't that more along the lines of what Rare originally wanted?
Yeah, no, it's like a standard, it's a kid's game. And then Bad Fur Day came out.
And it was completely different.
Oh, yeah, and it's great. And then they did Conker Live and Reloaded for the Xbox. And I at least want Microsoft to, like...
Release it as a...
Release it digital, yeah, because, like... The original one for Nintendo 64 is impossible to find for less than a couple $100. And even the Xbox one is like really hard to find.
And it's not cheap either.
No.
I think, what is it, $60, $80, something like that?
Something like that. But I think it is actually backwards compatible.
I'm not
surprisingly.
sure. It's always a confusing thing with backwards compatible.
But
the original PS3 was pretty cool with that. It's like everything's backwards compatible. Back when they actually did that, before like they said, no, we can't keep doing this.
The 2 models of
the 2 models
PS3s.
of consoles, yeah, like the very, very first ones. Those were
cool.
Yeah, like last generation was the generation of HD remakes. We had, at least off the top of my head, Ratchet & Clank HD Collection, Jak and Daxter HD Collection, Sly Cooper HD Collection, God of War HD Collection. This is all just Sony and PS3.
Devil May Cry HD Collection.
Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Zone of the Enders HD Collection.
Yep.
Especially Sony was on top of that.
Yeah.
But,
you say God of War?
I said God of War.
Okay.
But speaking of Jak and Daxter, I'd love to see an actual new Jak and Daxter game for the PS4. Because we didn't see them since the PS2 and PSP. And the last game, which was Jak and Daxter The Lost Frontier, was very average at best. It just didn't exactly feel like a Jak game.
No, it's great. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. I played it.
Having not played it, I don't actually know.
Have you played any of the 3?
I started the first one and realized how shit I am at it, so...
Alright, yeah, I finally completed like my childhood goal, because that was one of my first PlayStation 2 games. I finally completed my inner childhood goal of 100%ing it, and I was very happy with myself. So, I mean...
I being raised Nintendo and playing stuff like Super Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie, all of a sudden being dropped in Jak and Daxter, like, welcome to the first level, go collect 20 of these. And
it's not that hard.
No, but it's just like it's completely different. It's just like there's some really like intense things to do like right off the bat.
How open things were was awesome for that.
Yeah.
Any other games you think deserve like a sequel or should have a sequel or should have an HD remake? I mean, little known game. I'd like to see Kinetica either do an HD remake or get a sequel. Very hard to control game, but the idea was just super cool.
Yeah.
If you don't know, look it up, guys. It's great.
I'm gonna say Shadow the Hedgehog. No.
Banjo-Kazooie HD Collection.
Yeah. They have that sort of Xbox Live.
Oh, that's true.
There was what's weird is there was a bundle that was the first 2 games on Xbox Live, and then I've never seen it again. But no, they are up-res, they're gorgeous, and they control great.
And they're about like $10 $10 each?
They're $15
They're $15 each.
Unless they still have that bundle in where it's 15 for both.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, and they're totally worth it. I paid 15 for each, and when they came out with the bundle, I didn't care. They were worth $15 each.
Yeah, Ratchet. I would say Ratchet needs another sequel, but I think they're working on something.
Yeah, Into the Nexus wasn't that.
It wasn't, but it wasn't really a full blown. It was kind of a cap to the story that was told in the PS3 era of Ratchet games.
I don't know.
So retail for about $30, a little bit shorter of a game, which people are okay with for the price they paid. And apparently, it's very good.
Just like Ground Zeroes.
Except Ground Zeroes was like the start instead of the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Insomniac's apparently working on something related to Ratchet. People are, unless it's been confirmed and I haven't seen it, it's supposedly a remake of Ratchet and Clank 1 using the PS4 technology. So it's not an HD upres, it's a complete remake of Ratchet and Clank 1.
Or said speculation.
Unless it's been approved or confirmed, and I have not seen a single thing.
Yeah.
And that would be on me. My bad. Nintendo's also been hitting the remakes pretty hard as well with Pokemon.
Yeah,
every generation they have like a remake. Like, what was it? Ruby Sapphire.
They started with like Leaf Green, and everybody's like, "Oh, they should do the first 3 generations." And
well,
that was always...
seems to be like every generation, and like the past 3, I think they've done a remake. So it's like Ruby Sapphire generation, they had Fire Red, Leaf Green. Diamond Pearl generation, they had Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Yeah.
Black and White, I didn't do anything.
No. Then they did Black 2, White 2 instead.
Yeah, the first actual full sequels to a Pokemon game.
Yeah, but
so this actually connects both.
I didn't even know if they're like sequels.
They're numbered sequels. They're numbered.
They are, but it's like I don't know. It's
we didn't get Pokemon Red and Blue 2.
What?
No,
but I'm saying Black 2 and White 2, they are sequels, but it's just like the first game with like slightly different shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
So.
And then X and Y is getting...
I never heard of Black 2 and White 2, really. It wasn't very popular. There were a lot of people that had either Black or White. And then Black 2, White 2 just kind of went under the radar.
Yeah, X and Y generation's getting Ruby and Sapphire remakes.
Yep.
Due out this month.
It's going to be super cool.
It's going to be good.
The remakes are actually probably consistently some of my favorite Pokemon games.
It's like, I loved Ruby and Sapphire, and this is looking to make me love them even more. Kind of like, I love Gold and Silver, will always have a special place in my heart. I grew up with Red and Blue, Gold and Silver. I think I own Blue and I own Silver. My friend owned Crystal at some point. That time span when that came out, it was so cool.
You always had the one friend that was the cool guy and had Crystal.
He knew how to wait. So like he'd have Yellow, he'd have Crystal, he'd have...
I had Yellow even though I had a Red version.
So did I. I still have my Yellow cartridge somewhere.
I have all of my Pokemon cartridges.
So my Silver cartridge too. Although I might be friends that left it at my house and I ruined my actual cartridge. But he doesn't need to know that and he'll never listen to this, so it doesn't matter.
But no, like, Fire Red, Leaf Green are outstanding games. And fucking Soul Silver is still my favorite Pokemon game made. Like, I've enjoyed the newer ones, but... The Heart Gold Soul Silver is so good.
My question is, so again, I've never actually played through the entire Heart Gold Soul Silver, but I have played through Gold Silver, the original color ones. Do they include in Heart Gold and Soul Silver the remakes the ability to travel through Kanto?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Okay,
yeah. If they hadn't,
that makes me very happy.
If they hadn't, people would have raised hell.
I'm sure they would have, but that makes me want it even more.
No, you definitely go back, and the revamped Safari Zone is so much better.
Well, it's just like that's what I want in more Pokemon games. Instead of X and Y had like 0 endgame content, almost 0. Like there was not much to do after you beat the game except just grind and level, and play with friends. Well, Gold and Silver got it so right where it gives you a whole other set of 8 badges, a whole other region to explore, a revamped version of the original 8 badges, whatnot.
I mean, you can argue that's not in game. That's the other half of the game.
You can argue that, but I mean.
When Gold and Silver came out, like I thought all the Pokemon games would be that long.
Oh, seriously? Yeah.
But no, they went back to just 8 gyms.
I mean, I would really like if they at least tried to do that with like, just as a little thing. You beat the 8 badges, beat the Elite Four of the area that you're in for that game. So, like, say X and Y, you're in Kalos?
I think so, yeah.
So, yeah, you beat the Elite Four in Kalos, and say that you go back to Hoenn or something, like just one random...
Well, the reason they didn't do it there is because they were planning on the remakes.
I guess that's one way to look at it. But, I mean, I'd really like for them to add a little bit more to...
I think Black 2 White 2 was a good chance to do that. I think Black 2 White 2 they could have done like, oh, there's the new gym leaders or whatever in all the gyms. Go beat them, and then you can go back through and play the original gym leaders from Black 1, White 1.
That kind of reminds me of what they did with Gold and Silver. Like, Red and Blue, was it Fuchsia Gym? Was Koga, I believe? Then you go back in Gold and Silver, when you go back to Kanto and you get to the Fuchsia Gym, it's his daughter.
Yeah. I forget her name.
Jasmine, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's his daughter.
Was it Jasmine?
Yeah. Because Koga's now in the Elite Four.
Yeah, and there was like, it actually felt like time had progressed or something like that. It was really cool as a kid.
Yeah.
And again, in terms of Pokemon sequels, I'd like to see more stuff like that. Like, that's just, it was so cool to me, mind-blowing as a kid.
I think, I don't know, I think sometimes they say that after you beat the Elite Four, the end game is catch all the Pokemon, or nowadays, like, play online. And
it's like Gold and Silver just set that precedent, and then they just left that behind.
Yeah. So Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which is the best games.
Get it for like $45 from GameStop today.
So
buy it today. More. How much was it when it came out?
Like $45.
Buy it used at GameStop today for the same price you would have bought it new years ago.
Yeah,
2 thumbs up.
Meanwhile,
Would buy.
I think Black and White have like dropped.
Yeah, they're like 27 or 32 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, I liked them, but
I would.
The only one I like outright not liked is Diamond and Pearl Generation.
They were okay.
I didn't.
I'm not gonna say I hated it. They were okay.
I still didn't hate it. It's hard for me to hate Pokemon, but I didn't really enjoy it.
You know what other sequel I'd love to see?
What?
A Spyro game that isn't bastardized Salamander, Spyro, and Skylanders. Like, I grew up with Spyro 1, 2, and 3. A little bit of Enter Dragonfly that didn't really compare to the original 3, but when Skylanders came out, my heart literally broke. Like, my friend sent me an email saying, hey, it was more of a Skype message, I think. It was a while ago, but it's like, hey, did you see that new Spyro announcement? Oh, no, she sent it to me. Sent me a link to it, and right off the bat, I saw they turned Spyro the Dragon into Spyro the Salamander, and still calling him Spyro the Dragon. And it became this whole metagame, kind of like a collectible card game where you have to buy figures to unlock characters in this game. Like, this isn't Spyro.
It's the future of gaming, though.
Like, what did they do with my Spyro?
It's the future of gaming. That's what it is.
Granted, that's why I'm glad I have my hacked PSP and I could play all my old PlayStation 1 games and just not cry myself to sleep over what they've done to my childhood.
But you can buy toys and play with it in the game.
You see, I may be in like senior year of college, and I may have the mentality of a child at some points, but that's not one of those things that's included in that mentality.
Yeah,
the desire for toys.
But you know, and like there'll be that DLC character for Smash that you really, really want, and you have to buy the amiibo for it. You will go buy that fucking amiibo.
Not for 3DS because I don't have a Wii U, and I'm not intending to get one.
But I don't know. I think it's just going to be download codes because you are going to be able to just get it for 3DS.
Oh, probably. Damn it.
So yeah. So I guess, like, spoilers incoming if you don't want to hear about Smash. Mewtwo has been announced as, like, the first DLC character for both 3DS and Wii U.
When is it releasing?
I don't know when I don't know when Wii U's coming out. I think in January. But if whoever owns both copies of the game gets Mewtwo for free.
The Wii U game?
Yeah. If you own 3DS...
That came out in January?
I think so.
I thought it came out earlier than that.
I mean, maybe it's December. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I'm just
You're
saying.
the one with the dual screen. She looked it up. No, I guess it's just gonna be like a DLC code, or you get it through the Nintendo Shop or something. But I mean, I guess it's kind of nice to see Mewtwo back. Hopefully he doesn't like blow balls like he did in fucking Melee.
Check it.
Yeah, well, you read it. How about that?
The Wii U version of Super Smash Bros., the new one, because I don't think it really has a title other than Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U.
Yeah.
It's supposed to come out November 21st, 2014 in North America, November 28th, 2014 in Europe, in Australia on November 29th, 2014, and in Japan on December 6th, 2014. So it comes out before the end of the year in all regions.
Yeah, I didn't claim to know.
I figured I heard something different.
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure enough to call you out on it.
It's weird that we're getting Wii U. We're getting the Wii U version before Japan.
Way before Japan.
About a week, 2 weeks.
Which is still abnormal.
Yeah, I mean they got the 3DS one first.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I don't understand the whole marketing behind that.
I don't know. It'd be great though. It'd be great.
Is it competing with anything?
What do you mean competing?
Well, no. I'm not thinking straight. Super Smash Brothers is not going to compete with much.
No.
It'll
sell.
No,
Nintendo doesn't compete with shit. Nintendo just sells.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like cross-platform stuff, like stuff that's released on the same day.
Nah.
Like I think
even if something does release the same day, I don't think it'll affect.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare comes out next week. I want to say.
Okay. Don't think
next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing there was another shooter game that was being released that same day.
I don't know.
And I remember hearing, I think it was on Reddit or something. I could be completely wrong about all of this, but they were like, "Oh, they got balls doing this, releasing this on the same day, and stuff like that."
I don't know what shooter game would be coming out.
Again, I could be completely wrong, but I just remember hearing like there was some big shooter game that was coming.
It's not Evolve, is it?
I don't know enough.
I don't.
That stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be, could not be, whatever. So yeah, and then I guess again about sequels. You can go completely wrong with sequels. Some people, I love NHL 15. People are going to crucify me for that because no EA SHL, they're patching an OTP, they're messing up with this, messing up with that. And you know, I love it. As a hockey fan and someone who doesn't play intensely online, I love the game. But people do complain about sports games being yearly updates instead of full-fledged sequels, and they're money grabs and whatnot. But then you have other cases of terrible sequels. I mean, in the movie sphere, we were switching channels earlier and found Shrek 1 was on. And again, speaking of sequels that people wish didn't happen, even DreamWorks themselves wishes Shrek the Third never happened.
Yeah, the freaking opening to the fourth one, which still is just okay. Like, it's good. It like shows like this tapestry intro. It's like, oh, here's the storyline of the first movie. Here's the storyline of the second movie. Then the third was like they had kids. That's it.
That's all you need.
That's all you need to know.
I mean,
nothing important happened.
There was Devil May Cry 2, which, I mean, most fans of the franchise wish that never happened.
Is that the one where he doesn't talk? Or
yeah, that's Cold Dante, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that like older Dante? Because I think in the order it's Devil May Cry 3, Devil May Cry 1, Devil May Cry 2 in chronological order.
What the fuck? I don't play that series, so like what, like...
Devil May Cry 3 I think was a prequel.
That's weird, okay.
Devil May Cry 2 took place in the near future to Devil May Cry 1. Something like that. Yeah, Devil May Cry 2 is regularly disliked by fans of the franchise all around. It just didn't feel right.
Did he have, like, sequels where you didn't care about the first game, but the sequel's great?
Payday 2?
People care about the first one.
Not as much as the second one.
There was a lot.
But it really came into its own.
I have played more Payday 1 than I have Payday 2.
I have played more Payday 2.
Yeah.
Although I played a lot of Payday 1.
No, I was actually going to say recently, fucking Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2.
Right.
I played the demo for the first one. Like, this is just like it wants to be God of War so bad. It felt really like
welcome to old school
shitty
3D Castlevanias.
Yeah, it's like it's like really shitty, half-assed. But then the new one, like, it was actually a pretty good, respectable action game.
We can't talk about sequels gone wrong without mentioning the worst offender of all of them. The one that took pretty much a decade to complete. And you know exactly what I'm about to say.
I know where you're going.
Duke Nukem Forever.
I don't want to go back to this shithole.
This is possibly the most offensive sequel ever. I mean,
You didn't play as much as I did. You weren't there. You didn't see the alien sphincters on the wall that you had to tickle to open.
But looking back, it was the coolest thing in the 90s. Like, my dad let me play Duke Nukem 3D as a kid. And he would play it with me.
Good parenting.
I'd watch him. Good parenting in the 90s was fantastic. I turned out alright. I mean, a little bit messed up. But
yeah, he turned out great.
But no, like, so he told me, like, oh, they're making a new Duke Nukem. It's going to be so cool. Duke Nukem Forever. Look at these screenshots. Oh, they look so cool. Little me was very, very interested in, like, the slightly improved graphics, like, they were nowhere near where we are now in terms of realism and how pretty they are. And then it just kept getting pushed back, and there would be news articles every now and then. Oh, it's coming soon, we promise. Look at these new graphics. Like, it's going to be released for the PlayStation 2 as well, I think.
It's just like The Last Guardian.
But, yeah, and then it finally came out, and I canceled my pre-order after hearing about it. This was, like, around the time UMVC 3 came out. Because I canceled my pre-order, put my money on UMVC 3, and bought that instead.
It was a good call.
It was a good call. But then I got an offer from GameStop. Buy 2 games used, get 1 free. So I got, like, Green Day Rock Band. I got I think it was one of the Street Fighter games. And I got Duke Nukem Forever as my free game.
Oh, you.
Because I figured out I couldn't lose anything. I didn't pay anything for it.
You poor child.
But
You
it
lost.
It was just as bad as I thought it would be. It was just
No, really, I lost. Because you barely played it.
I forced it on this guy.
I still didn't finish it. I refused. It is.
What happened to the game anyway?
You sold it?
No one would take it.
No, you took it to McKay's.
They wouldn't take it.
Then I don't know what happened to it. You shoved it up your ass for all I care. Like,
I took it to GameStop. They wouldn't take it when I sold my 360 back.
I thought McKay's
I took it to McKay's. McKay's told me it wasn't worth anything.
It's not. It's oh god. You will get more enjoyment from burning it than you will from like anything. So everything's wrong.
Game, it's
Just
one of
like-
those things. They should have just admitted, listen, this isn't going to come out as we expected 10 years later. We're sorry, we're canceling the project at this point. We're done.
No, Gearbox wanted the money.
Well, how much could they have honestly gotten from this?
They got enough.
Did they actually get enough, or were they?
They got enough to help fund Borderlands. So
That had to be Borderlands 2, though.
yeah,
Oh, I think it was Borderlands 1.
nah.
Speaking of sequels done right, Borderlands 2 is pretty sick.
What about the pre-sequel?
Haven't played it, don't know enough about it.
Like no one's really talking about it.
No one's really saying much about it.
So
I mean, I need to look into that, though.
oh, good sequels, fucking Bayonetta 2.
It's not even just good sequels, it's good marketing, including the first game with the sequel. It's fantastic.
What marketing have they done for Bayonetta? It's pretty much just like word of mouth.
Yeah, it is, but I mean marketing is in they... Like, people who know about it know they're including the first game with the purchase of the second one.
Yeah, no, well,
Which
E3 they announced that, so.
I was saying, people who do know the game know that deal.
And I think
that's a pretty solid deal.
I think I've seen a commercial once for it, so.
I vaguely remember seeing that.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
Alright, that's all for today. Down in the comments section, let us know what games you think deserve a sequel or HD remake, and we'll talk about that next episode. See you guys later.